Today we're going to do another Q&A video for you. We recently did a reader survey, and if you haven't answered it yet, it's still up. So if you wouldn't mind, go down to the link in the description box below and just answer the survey for us. Just a few questions, it'd be really, really helpful. But anyways, we had a question on there for you guys to ask us questions, and we said that we would answer them in an upcoming video, and today is the day. So
I don't know why I'm trying to make that happen.
I have my coffee, I have my computer with the questions, Poppy's here, the whole family's here. So we are going to start with the first question that one of you guys asked, and these were anonymous, so I don't know who asked. So the first question that somebody asked was, where would you each like to be by the time you're 40? You can answer first.
You're pretty close to that.
Not that close. Gosh.
It's hard to say because I've thought about how much has changed in the past 8 years that I've lived in New York. 40 for me is, what, like 14 years away or something? So I can't even imagine how much is gonna change by then. I probably would not be living in New York anymore, but I don't know where I'll be living. And I'll probably have like 10 children running around. I want a lot of kids, she does not.
10?
That's no, I won't have 10. But yeah, I'll probably have like 4 or 5 for sure.
Okay, we'll see.
If I can handle giving birth that many times.
Well, if you're going that route, you have some other things to find first.
What?
Like a husband or boyfriend.
Technicality. But I mean, there's ways around that, but yeah. No, that would be nice as well, for sure.
Yeah. I would say for me, I hope to still be traveling just as much as we're traveling now. Maybe at that point living or have lived in another country.
Yeah.
For an extended period of time. I would say that's probably one of my my big goals by that time. You know, be happy, be healthy, you know, that kind of stuff. The next question, I think we've answered before, but we'll just briefly talk about it here. Again, it says, if you don't mind, would you both tell us more about your job outside of blogging? So Shelby doesn't have a job outside of blogging. She works on As Told by Stuff full time. I do have another blog. I have another blog, you guys. I have another job. It's in the fashion industry regarding visual merchandising. I'm not going to go into a ton of specifics about it. I like to kind of keep that separate from what we do here, but it is, you know, fashion related, and I do travel quite frequently for that job as well. So if you see me traveling separate from Shelbs, then that's what I'm doing. So yeah, so that's my job.
P.S. Kristen, if you're watching this, I never told you that I found this shirt from the Nordstrom sale.
Because she knew you'd be mad.
Yeah, so we really wanted this shirt, but they sold out of this color. When we were in Texas, we went to Nordstrom on the last night before the sale opened to the public, and they had this one in a medium, just on a random rack, and I was like, I have to buy it. And I was like, I can never tell Kristen, but I'm wearing it, and she's gonna see it, so sorry, Kristen.
And it's back in stock if you want it. You can still buy it, but at full price. Okay, the next question is also one that we have answered before, but in case you're new here, we'll just briefly talk about it again. How do you guys pay for your trips? Are YouTube and the blog a steady enough income? I'll let you answer that as our financial guru.
The biggest thing for us is traveling.
We prioritize it.
We prioritize that. And so any extra income that we have goes towards traveling.
We're obviously, I have another full-time job. We're obviously not making enough to support both of us full-time right now. So, you know, we get an income, yes, but also we personally prioritize travel over other expenditures. You don't see us going out and about in the city a ton. We do occasionally, but
I do mostly free things.
But eating out is expensive in New York. If we do go out and do stuff,
drinking is expensive in New York.
Yeah, so we just prioritize. We pick the things that are important to us to experience, and for us, that's travel. So
we're also really careful about how we travel, where we travel. We save a lot of money the way that we travel. We've talked about this several times, but like we track flights and we always buy the cheapest price when we find it.
We have a whole series of blog posts on this exact topic, exactly how we plan our trips and all the tools we utilize. So we'll link those down below for you guys to reference. I think that might answer some more of your specific questions.
And I think too, if you don't travel a lot, you might not realize how affordable it actually is. There was a point in time where it was very expensive to travel, and that is not the case anymore. We were even talking to someone about this a few weeks ago, and they just didn't even realize that, like, oh wow, like this is actually doable. Like people can do this on a budget and have a fantastic time. You know, you don't have to go stay at the Four Seasons everywhere that you travel, but you also don't have to stay in like a hostel either, which I've stayed in hostels before, but that's not how we travel now. And I never feel like we're spending a ton of money or we're spending above our means or anything like that.
Right.
So it is affordable. It's not as crazy as you might think it is.
Sure, and sometimes we do get offers from brands like hotels and things to stay with them for either for free or for a discount.
But we're also very picky.
But we don't reach out to everybody, you know, when we're traveling. Sometimes we mention it, but when we do reach out, it's not with the intention of getting free stuff. It's more just, is there a mutual way that we can help each other? All right, the next question was an interesting one. What was the most challenging moment in your blogging journey so far?
I feel like we're still in it. For me,
growing Instagram.
I can't even tell you. Like, it's so frustrating to me that you have to have 10,000 followers on Instagram to get the swipe up thing, like in stories, because we want to be able to link to like our blog posts and link to anything for you guys so easily, so you can literally just swipe up and do it. And
we're so close, you guys. If all of you watching this tell one friend to go follow us on Instagram, we'll be in a much better place.
Oh, it's so frustrating, because I just want the swipe up. Like, it's not about numbers for me at all. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not like, oh, I have to have 10,000 followers because I want 10,000 people following me. Like, no, I want it to be organic and great, but like I want the swipe up thing so that we can, but it's for you guys, so that we can share things much easier with you guys. So that's probably the hardest thing for me. I struggle with that every single day.
Because we were growing really, really well, and then the algorithm changed, and I know you guys have all probably heard this, and we're not going to sit here and complain about it, but it did make things much more difficult. So that was a pretty big challenge.
And still trying to navigate that and figuring out what that even means. I don't think anybody really knows what it all even means yet.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, is that is a platform that we have no control over. You know, Instagram's going to do whatever they want to do, whereas with our blog we can control everything. And I believe we said this before, but while Instagram is important and that's the primary way that we connect with all of you guys, you know, we don't put a ton of importance on it, just because
I put more on it than she does.
I don't put as much importance on it. I would like, you know, you guys to interact with us more through our blog, because that's the environment that we're creating for you. We didn't create Instagram, we're creating content on Instagram, but you know, Instagram could go away tomorrow. Okay, the next question is asking what our thoughts on Cancun were.
Oh, I loved it.
Well, let's preface this. We didn't really see Cancun.
True.
We saw the JW Marriott Resort in Cancun on the beach. We saw Cancun on the drive from the airport to the hotel and back from the hotel to the airport. So I can't really say a lot about Cancun as a city. I will say that what we did experience, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I really loved it. It was a nice little getaway, just relaxed, and it was nice to be like taken care of a little bit.
Yeah,
because we had like waiters and
it was nice to have not really a lot of responsibility. Yeah, to be pampered just a tad.
Yeah. they would literally come by like every 5 minutes and ask if we needed something else, which was really nice. So it was a nice little getaway.
Yeah. All right, the next question says, what is the best piece of advice someone ever gave you? This is
my
go-to for me.
Is it the same one?
It's
our dad.
Our dad gave us this piece of advice, and we'll say it 1, 2, 3. Only break one law at a time. So if you're
you shouldn't be breaking any laws, but
so if you're going to drink and drive, don't. But if you're going to, don't speed. For example, drive the speed limit. You know, things like that. That's kind of like our go-to.
That's where you'll get in trouble if you break more than one at a time. But if you're only breaking one,
it's still not great.
No.
But don't break a lot at one time, and that's where you're gonna get into trouble. Okay, this is kind of a two-part question. And it's somebody who says, I'm going to be applying for jobs soon. I was wondering if you had any advice or tips that you find helpful when interviewing for a job. Then we'll go into that part in a second. Okay, I'll take this because actually as part of my separate full-time day job, which I talked about a few minutes ago, I do a lot of interviewing and hiring. This is kind of a complicated question, and
it totally depends on the job.
And I could go on and on and on about my tips for this. It depends on your industry, it depends on what kind of job you're interviewing for, but just my general blanket tips are to really sell yourself and be personable with whoever is interviewing you. You know, every single question that you're asked by the interviewer, tie it back to your personal experience. Give an example of how, you know, you've dealt with something similar in the past, or if you haven't dealt with a particular scenario, how you would deal with it, you think. Be very specific.
To me, this is your time to be a little self-absorbed, like talk about yourself.
Absolutely. You know, I cannot tell you how many interviews I do where people, you know, just don't share a lot, and it's really hard to kind of gauge skill sets.
Well, and here's the other thing too, is you almost never interview in person. It's only over the phone. So that's your way to get to know somebody. Like, you can always tell a lot about somebody by their energy when you're with them, but if you're not with them, it makes it a little difficult.
And I'll also say that resumes are important, but they're not everything. You know, obviously share your experience on them and be pretty detailed. No spelling mistakes or typos or anything like that. But also, I think a lot of people make the mistake of relying too heavily on their resume, and they don't verbally share stuff about them because in your head you're thinking, you know, it's on my resume, you already know this, why do I need to say it again? For me personally, I can kind of tell if you're going to be a good fit skill set wise by just looking at your resume. I don't really need to talk to you to be able to tell if you're qualified. Where I talk to you about where I find the value in discussing your qualifications in an interview setting is to see if you would personally be a good fit on our team as a team member, more on a personal level. And remember that it's a two-way street. We're evaluating you as a candidate, and the candidate should be evaluating the job as well. And I'll stop talking about this because I can go on and on, but if you guys have more questions about that, I'm happy to answer. So if that's something of interest to you, let me know, and maybe we could do a separate thing. This person also said, how do you cope or deal with failure? I have a hard time facing failure, especially since I haven't experienced it in a big way yet. I know it's good for me to learn from my failures, but how do you not let it get in your way? Would love your advice.
It's a part of life.
Yeah,
you learn from it. You have to change your outlook or perspective on failure, I guess, is the way to deal with it. You have to just live your life knowing that failure is going to happen, and it happens to every single person. You are not the only person to experience it, so everybody else can help you and guide you to deal with it as well. But literally everybody experiences it, so you're not alone, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Learn from it. Learn the value and whatever the failure was, and grow from it personally to not go through that specific failure again if you can help it. I would say don't let the failures make you scared to try again.
Yeah.
Like just a blocking example that's coming to mind quickly is, what was it, like a year ago? I don't remember exactly when it was. We launched
like a year and a half ago.
We attempted to launch some travel guides for you guys with like in-depth information on some of the places that we've been. We put together very specific itineraries. These took months and months and months of work to put together. We were all excited, and we launched, and crickets. Nobody seemed to be interested.
We sold one.
And that was probably one of our biggest like blogging failures, blogging challenges. And as part of this survey that we're doing, we learned from our mistakes, and we are asking you guys what you want rather than guessing what you want. We're just straight out asking you. So this is how we're taking that failure, and we are learning and growing from it. We have a new idea that we're hoping to launch this fall. And we're kind of shaping and pulling it together, and there's a lot of big hints on that survey as to what it may be. But we really, really want you guys' feedback because we want to make it what you guys would be interested in. This is a silly one, but I just think it's funny. If you could personify the other in a food, what would it be and why? So I know Shelby's so easily. Shelby is cheese. For a couple of reasons. She loves to eat cheese. However, you may not know this.
No, they probably do.
She's lactose intolerant, so she shouldn't be eating cheese. But she eats it anyway because she likes it, and she just puts up with the consequences. But this personifies her most dominant trait, which is stubbornness.
I'm a Scorpio.
Because she doesn't care that she shouldn't be having it. She wants it, and she is going to eat it anyway.
That's literally my life motto. If I want it, I'm gonna do it,
absolutely.
Eat it.
Nothing describes Shelby more.
So
Shelby is cheese.
Great.
Ooh, this is a good one. We all need me time. Yes, we do. How do you both make time to unwind or plan for a day that's dedicated to yourself?
Most of the time, every single day, I'll take a moment to have me time, but then I also do kind of plan a day sometimes on a weekend or something. For me,
we're both introverts, so we both need that time away from other humans to kind of decompress and be alone. That is something that is very important to both of us, and we know this about each other. We can also kind of tell when we need to give the other person some space for some me time. I personally like.
We do our me time a little differently though.
I like to spend either like really late nights or on the weekend mornings kind of by myself. I don't get a lot of me time during the week just because I'm so busy working kind of 2 jobs. So I don't get a lot. I would say what I like to do in my me time is like be in my room by myself, like in bed reading or watching a show or something, just kind of like mindless decompressing. Or I go on a walk and listen to podcasts and drink cold brew. That's another thing I like to do on my me time, but it's something that I know for myself I need to do very frequently. It's not a daily thing necessarily for me, but like last night we like went to bed and I stayed up and I was like, you know, just like watching TV shows before I went to sleep, and it was thunderstorming outside, and I was just like kind of like laying in bed thinking about rain and life and watching the show, and like that was good like downtime me time for me.
See, I do that every night. I'm a huge night owl, so I'm up till like sometimes 2:30 like every night, and then I get up at 8.
See, I was up that late last night, but that's rare for me.
Yes, you know, I kind of do that every night. So a lot of times that is kind of my me time. And actually, we have like a system, like when we go to bed, because we're usually out here every night, like all watching TV together, and then like Alex will go in the bathroom and do everything she needs, Ashley will, and then they go to bed, like they're on the other side of the apartment. So I'm down here by myself, so I'm always the last one to go in there. Most of the time I'll turn on some music. I like take my time like doing all my skincare and brushing my teeth and like getting ready, so I'll like listen to my music. Music is like my huge escape, so like I always have it on. And then I'll crawl into bed and I'll either read or usually watch YouTube videos, Netflix, something. Like for me, my me time is like doing anything that makes me happy, and most of the time I like want to watch something. So like I know that can be stressful for a lot of people, and they're like me time, they want to just like relax and like not think about anything. But for me, not thinking about anything is more stressful.
Oh no,
so like
that's my favorite. Just like laying in bed doing literally nothing.
Yeah, no, I
thinking.
cannot.
It's really fun.
Absolutely cannot do that.
Okay, the next question is your channel is my favorite. Thank you. But I would like to know how the idea of creating it came up, and also how is it to oh, there's a typo. What do you think that's supposed to say? How hard is it to dedicate time to create content for YouTube? We'll go with that.
Okay, I'll kind of take all this. So, dedicate time. It's a little hard because she has her other job, and so we film a lot on the weekends like this. Vlogs are easier because she can vlog during the work day because it's just like what she's doing. But like to dedicate time to like sit, and because we live in New York, like we can't leave our lights like up, so we have to set them up every time.
Yeah.
And
it takes some planning.
It does,
you know.
And we thinking about content too. I mean, we have a content calendar that like we both share, and we try and have everything kind of scheduled and picked out at least a month in advance. But obviously, depending on what's happening in the world and different things that come up, some of that stuff slightly changes a little bit.
So because we have our content calendar, we know when we have deadlines for things that we want to go up. And so we just kind of backtrack from that and figure out what days we're gonna film stuff, you know, in order for it to be up by the time that we want it up. So that's kind of how that works. The last question is, what advice would you give someone who wants to start their own blog or grow their Instagram followers?
Just go for it.
Just start.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you're not ready, you don't know what you're doing. We had no idea what we were doing.
And I would say the biggest thing that I'm learning, and I'm starting to go even more in depth in this, is to don't be scared and be vulnerable. Like you have to let people in. If for them to choose to want to learn about you, you have to bring the walls down a little bit. You can't.
And I will say in this survey, in one section, we asked you guys why do you follow us? Just because we're curious. The majority of the answers were because we are authentic and
relatable.
And I think that that's a really cliche answer as far as advice for a new blogger to say be authentic, but it really is true.
Don't try and be somebody else.
Don't try to copy what somebody else is doing. And
it's so easy to try and conform to what somebody else is doing.
Take inspiration by things that you like and you see that other people are doing, and you can integrate that in your way. Don't copy it exactly, because here's the thing, that person that you follow probably has a lot more followers than you do right now. Why would people that are following that kind of thing already want to then go follow you when you're offering the exact same thing? You know, people want to follow different people for different reasons. Nothing annoys me more when I follow a slew of bloggers and they all start talking about the same thing. You know, I just don't find that interesting. It can be interesting because people have different perspectives on things, so it depends on what it is. But, you know, just be you. Be yourself, find your voice, and just go for it. Just do it. As far as growing on Instagram, I don't know, when you figure it out like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken us 3 years to get this far. And it's just such an uphill, downhill battle every single day. So it is what it is. I don't take a lot of stock in the amount of followers we have.
Yeah.
I put more stock in more so the engagement.
We love when you guys comment on our Instagram or DM us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Especially comment on our photos. Like, we love that.
Yeah.
We love that interaction. Please do if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid or don't be scared to.
I'm just gonna say, one of my top love languages is words of affirmation. Like, she doesn't need it, but
I find it annoying.
It's not that I need someone to be like, oh my god, I love you so much. Like, no, not that. But it's just the fact that, like, hey, I'm here. Like, I see you. Like,
well, that's another reason why we love this survey, because we put this stuff out there and we honestly have no idea who's watching it.
Yeah.
Like, we can see views, we can see stuff, but like, we don't know who those people are. So if you guys reach out to us and be like, oh, I love this post that you did on the blog, then be like, oh, you're one of the people that read it. Great.
Oh my gosh, no, the biggest thing on this survey, because we asked like what your favorite like posts were, so many people talked about the things that make me smile posts that I do. And like, I know a lot of people don't comment like on blog posts anymore, like I know that's not really a thing, but like, I mean, we can obviously see the views and that people see them, but I had no idea that this was something that so many of you guys like really, really liked. So if there is something that you really like that we do, like just give us a heads up, just be like, hey, really like this, like, great post, like whatever, like it doesn't.
And also on the contrary, please be nice about it. But if you're seeing stuff that we're doing that you don't like, tell us that too.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's something that we you know, feel like a lot of people aren't liking, then you know, we still want to obviously stay true to ourselves and what we want to be putting out, but I also don't want to be putting out a lot of content that you guys don't care about, because while we're doing this for us, at this point it's turned into doing it for you guys and creating content for you guys too. So all right, we've been yammering on for a while, so it's probably time to wrap this up. But thank you guys so much for all of your questions. If you guys have any more, leave them down below. Or if you want them to be a little bit more private questions, you can DM us on Instagram or email us. We do have email. We answer emails all the time from you guys if you have any questions. So thank you guys so much for following us, for watching this. We love you. If you want to see more Q&A videos like this from us, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video and you're always alerted as soon as one goes up right there. And you can watch our latest video right there. We will see you guys next time. Bye!